Hey, if you're getting ready to sell a house that's in probate or trust or an inherited house, does the new National Association of Realtors lawsuit settlement affect you? Well, in case you haven't heard, the National Association of Realtors settled the lawsuit to the tune of $400 million and has adopted many policy changes beginning Saturday, August 17th. The two changes that are getting all the attention are based on compensation and representation. And all around the internet, people keep saying sellers don't have to pay commissions anymore. Sellers don't have to pay the buyer's agent commission anymore. Well, guess what? You never had to pay the other agent commissions. All commissions are negotiable by federal law, and they have been for a very long time. So let me break down the changes for you so you know what you're getting into. The way it's been done for years is that the listing agent negotiates a compensation or commission for themselves and for the buyer's agents, puts that on the multiple listing service as an offering from the seller to the buyer's agent. In other words, you bring me a buyer to my listing and I'll share my commission with you. That commission was put in the multiple listing and was basically supposed to be take it or leave it. Now that field that we had in the MLS, that's completely gone. Not going to be there anymore. But the seller, if they choose to, can still offer commission via a new field on the MLS called buyer's concession. So the seller can still offer it, just in a different spot. And the buyer can use that concession for whatever he wants, whether it's his agent's commission or other closing costs or down payment. And in the buyer's market, seller assistance has always been pretty common. We've been in a seller's market for so long, everybody forgets what it's like to be in a buyer's market. So if you're a seller and you think it's in your best interest to pay that buyer's agent, you can offer compensation and have it known that you're willing to pay that buyer's agent, or at least help the buyer. But you don't have to, and really you never did. The reason for the lawsuit was that realtors just weren't explaining this to people properly, not to buyers nor to sellers. Now it's changed for buyers. For decades, we've had buyer agency contracts that realtors and buyers sign, and then those agreements, it's always laid out in the time frame of that agreement and the fees, both in terms of commission and any other fees that may be charged. Although we've had the form for a long time, many agents choose not to use it and go by the honor system. You stick with me, I'll stick with you, I'll help you get a nice house, do the negotiating for you, explain the school district, and run comparable market analysis for you before you make an offer. Well, that changed, and now we must have a buyer sign an agreement before we show them any houses. Now, Zillow has come up with a shortened form of a 7-day showing agreement because basically their pop-up realtor who just gets a text and says I want to see 123 Main Street and runs over there to open the door for a total stranger is pretty much going to fall by the wayside if we adhere to these contracts. Because now, if you want to be a pop-up realtor, you got to pop up with the contract in hand and be ready to have that buyer sign before you walk in. And of course, you got to explain it to them also. From what I've read, NAR is accepting this form, although it basically negates what they agreed to in the settlement in the first place, at least in my opinion. I haven't seen it, so I really don't know what's on it, but it says it's a 7-day agreement that allows that realtor to show you houses. I don't know if compensation's spelled out. I have no idea. One exception is at open houses. A realtor does not have to sign a prospective buyer to a contract upon touring an open house, assuming they're the agent that's holding it open. So what does this mean for probate or a trust or inherited house being sold? Nothing. As always, you're free to offer or not offer a commission based on what you feel is in your best interest. If you feel you get more competition by offering assistance, by all means do it. If you feel that you're good enough value based on comparable sales that you don't need to do that, and you want to cover that for the other agent themselves, you want the buyer to do that, well, by all means do that. If you're beginning a probate, considering selling an inherited or estate house, look below this YouTube video for a link to an executor's checklist. It's very helpful. And if you need any help, just reach out. I'm always available. Hey, this is Bill Eaves, Associate Broker with EXP in Pennsylvania, Licensed Agent in New Jersey. And as always, thanks for watching.